What's going to happen in today's lesson is I'm going to be asking Diorbeck many part one questions on all sorts of topics that you could potentially get asked in your IELTS speaking test. So, are you ready to begin, Diorbeck?
Yes, I am. It feels great to be back.
Ah, wonderful. Okay, Diorbeck, let's start. Do you like music?
I don't normally listen to a lot of music. I might listen to music when I'm in the gym. It's not because I am concentrating on lyrics. It's just an adrenaline boost, I guess. I could put on any kind of music and then listen to it. I don't really pay attention to the lyrics.
And what kinds of music do you like to listen to?
I would say my taste in music is quite eclectic, and I could listen to anything. It could be hip hop, it could be something classic, Beethoven, or like I don't know, whatever you name it. So I would say my taste in music is quite mixed.
And do you enjoy the same kind of music with your friends?
One of my close friends is a huge hip hop fan, and for me, hip hop doesn't do it. It's like yes, there are one or two that I enjoy that gives me, I guess, motivation, and that some of the hip hop songs make you think. And I lately enjoyed a few pieces of music by Kendrick Lamar, and it made me think. And he overall has got very, I guess he's an overall a very good artist, so I like him a lot.
Do you usually wear t-shirts?
Yes, I put them on every day. Even now, I'm putting on one. I usually put on a plain t-shirt because I'm a casual dresser, and when I put on a t-shirt, it matches with the rest of my outfit.
Do you think older people are fashionable if they wear t-shirts?
Not necessarily. I don't think if an old person wears a t-shirt that makes them fashionable. I think it's simply because they feel comfortable because most of the t-shirts are 100% cotton and that's quite comfy.
Have you ever bought a t-shirt as a souvenir?
No, I haven't done that. I don't think t-shirts make for good gifts. I think it's quite banal, especially if it's one of those Hawaii or those kinds of t-shirts. Maybe if you thought it's a good gift, good for you, but I don't think overall they make for a good gift.
So what do you usually do on weekends?
Well, my weekends are quite unpredictable. I cannot say that I do a set of things at my weekends. For example, today, despite it being the weekend, we're doing this, and I usually do work. But sometimes I go out and spend time with my friends. I could be watching football in a bar with my friends.
Would you say weekends are important to you?
Yes, they are really important because I work hard, especially nowadays. I'm working really hard. So it's important for me to have some time off work so that I get ready for the next week. And at the same time, so that I can spend some quality time with my family members.
And do you usually like to make a lot of plans for the weekend?
No, I usually keep my weekends quite open because otherwise, like I said, they are quite unpredictable. I might have a meeting or I might have some errand to run. So usually I don't plan my weekends, but usually every other week I tend to have dinner with my family members at a nice restaurant. So that's something that can be considered as a plan.
Do you often stay up late?
No, I would say I normally stay up late, but that's not an intentional choice. I don't do it intentionally. I usually go home very late and I have something to eat. And before I know it, it's midnight, and I usually catch up on shows I've been watching. I usually binge watch Netflix.
And did you stay up late when you were a child?
When I was a child, we had a very strict bedtime routine. My mom was quite adamant about it. And I also remember we had a curfew order in place, and I had to be at home at a fixed time. So I usually used to go to bed at a fixed time. And I also had school, so that's why I needed to go to bed early.
And nowadays, when you stay up late, How do you usually feel the next day?
Um, because it's quite a regular thing, I don't feel particularly bad. Like I guess in the same way, a lot of people who stay up late probably have some physical discomfort that they feel. But for me, it's because it's a regular thing. I don't feel any different than I normally do. I mean, if I end up having a regular amount of sleep, or healthy amount of sleep, which is like 7 or 8 hours, and there's no difference between that and me like having little amount of sleep, honestly.
Now, what made you happy when you were little?
When I was little, when my mom took me to a park, when she allowed me to play outside with my friends, literally anything made me happy. I guess like when you are, when you're a kid, like I guess it's very easy to stay happy. And so I guess above all, when they took me to my grandparents, I was really happy.
Do the same things make you feel happy nowadays?
Nowadays, I live quite far away from my grandparents, and I can go there on my own, but I don't do that quite often. But I think that does bring a lot of joy when I see them. But playing outside, I think, yeah, these same things do bring a lot of joy, but I don't get to do them because of work.
And are you happy when you buy new things?
Of course, yeah. When I buy something new, I do get a lot of joy. Like if I buy, say, the latest iPhone, if I buy a piece of technology that I need for my work, I do get happy because it makes my life, certain aspect of my work better. But it's like fleeting, I guess, happiness or momentary happiness, and then after that, this feeling fades away.
And when do you feel happy at work?
At work, I do teaching. I help students prepare for exams. So when I see students doing well, when I see them enjoying the process, and I'm helping them enjoy the process, and I do derive a lot of pleasure from that. Of course, when they get good results and they report that they've got good results, that brings me a lot of joy.
Now, do you prefer to buy things from small businesses or large companies?
I try to buy from small businesses. I think big corporations, greedy corporations, already have reduced the profit margins of small corner shops to an
Mhm.
extent that most of them are going bankrupt. So I try to buy day-to-day products of dairy products from small corner shops or convenience stores.
And have you ever worked in a small business?
Yes, when I was young, I worked in my uncle's shop, and I was basically making sure that there was enough stuff, goods in the inventory, and I was keeping track of goods and what's left and what's not. And also I did work in travel program in the US, and I also worked in a small sushi restaurant run by a family, and it was quite a nice experience too.
Are there any famous small businesses in the area where you live?
In the area I live, there is a small bakery. I think it's a family-run bakery, and they bake some of the best donuts and breads as well. And people come all the way from other parts of Tashkent to buy bread from this bakery.
Now, do you always carry a lot of keys with you?
Yes, I do. I carry a lot of keys, and they are usually on my keychain, I guess it's called. I usually carry my house key, apartment key, like work key, and a gym locker key. So many things.
Have you ever lost your keys?
I have. I would say nowadays I have too much on my mind, and that's probably the reason I've been losing them. But I had a solution, and my solution was to buy an Apple AirTag. So I put it. Now I lose it less often, almost I guess none at all, like recently.
How can we avoid losing keys?
Like I said, something what I did worked for me. Maybe people could try that. So I mean, what Apple AirTag allows you to do, you can keep track of your like items. It could be keys or whatever. Another thing is maybe generally don't carry keys with you. Maybe I don't know. I maybe it's quite expensive to install those smart doors, and maybe carry a card. I guess most of the doors are nowadays like such doors. I don't know, maybe that could help.
Do you often go to the library?
No, I don't go to the library at all. I used to go to the library when I was younger, but nowadays, I have no time and no actually purpose. There's no meaning in my going to
Yeah.
the library because I usually have personal space at work and in the house, the same situation. So I don't go to libraries at all.
Do many people in your city visit the library?
I guess yes. We don't have public libraries. The idea of public library is not really popular. So there is one or two that's popular that students go to, but ordinary people, they know they exist, but they normally don't go to public libraries. And there are not many of them, honestly.
Do you like eating chocolate?
Chocolate is what I call it's my guilty pleasure. I do eat a lot of chocolate sometimes, and especially if it's something that I buy as a treat for my nieces, and I enjoy eating them. I join in the eating process.
Right. And did you often eat chocolate when you were a child?
When I was a child, my mom was against my eating chocolate because they were harmful for my teeth. So I didn't eat a lot of chocolate. Again, probably I ate them when the guests came, and that was the only time probably I was allowed to eat chocolate.
Do you think that chocolate makes for a good gift?
Chocolate makes for a good holiday gift, I believe. Like, for example, we usually give chocolate, anything sweet for that matter, during two Eids, like that's a Islamic holiday. So we usually give chocolate, I guess. Some people do, I guess.
Do you like singing, Diobek?
Oh no, I'm not musical at all. I don't sing at all because I know if I sing, I could make quite a few people angry. So that's why
Right.
I normally don't sing. If I'm alone, I might join I guess hum it's called. Yeah, I might do that, but otherwise, no, I don't sing at all.
Have you ever learned how to sing?
No, I haven't taken any formal classes because, like I said, I've never been musically inclined. So, but yeah, I've been to karaoke like with friends, and there I felt quite relaxed and did singing. I sang, but overall, no, I've never taken classes or I've never been interested in this idea.
Let's move on. Let's talk about puzzles. Did you like doing puzzles when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, yes, I did a lot of puzzles. I did word puzzles and mathematical puzzles. So I
Hmm.
did very well when I did Sudoku. And because I've got a very broad vocabulary lexis, at least I like to think so, I did word puzzles too.
And when do you do puzzles? During trips or when you feel bored?
Nowadays, I don't do puzzles as much as I did when I was a child. I think I might do a puzzle if there is a piece of newspaper on my way home to my hometown. I usually take a train trip, so train ride. So I might do puzzles then.
Do you think it's good for old people to do puzzles?
For old people to do puzzles, I think it's a good way to spend for them because they can keep themselves occupied. And I see a lot of old people doing puzzles, in my neighborhood. So I think it's a good way to keep their brain sharp, and then yeah, that's probably a good activity for them.
Does your name have a special meaning?
My name is Diorbek, and when you translate literally, it means Dior means motherland. Bek is like king, so it's like it means king of the motherland, I guess. But I don't take that meaning seriously. I don't think when my dad gave me this name, he thought it had a special meaning. He just thought it was a beautiful name, I guess.
Does anyone in your family have the same name as you?
No, no, it's not quite common in Uzbekistan to give a name that somebody else has. Like I don't think it's a tradition in our country. No, there's nobody's with the same name in my family.
So in Uzbekistan, how do people choose names for their children?
Name giving has been influenced by Islam, so it has Islamic. It has to do with Islamic tradition of giving names. So most of the names have a special meaning. So yeah, it also has to do with I guess lately name giving has been probably influenced by our opening to the rest of the world. Probably, I see a lot of foreign sounding names, but overall, it has Islamic roots.
What kind of public transport do you usually take?
I usually take metro. Metro is by far the most popular means of transport for the residents of Tashkent. I usually take metro. I don't take bus because they are quite overcrowded. Metros can be overcrowded too, but as long as you know the right time, they are really comfortable.
And did you take public transport when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, yes, I took, I guess in English they're called shuttles, because my school was in a far distance from where I used to live. And I used to take shuttles. And yeah, I also took buses. And because I lived in Nave, which is quite a small town, and I usually got around the city on foot.
Right. Do most people prefer to take public transport where you live?
Yes, most people prefer to take public transport because public transport in Tashkent is quite efficient, I would say, because we have, like I said previously, we have an integrated transport system. We have buses, we have metro, and we also, I guess, building a tram line as well. So yeah, most people like to take public transportation because it's quite cheap and it's quite fast too.
What technological products do you often use? For example, computers, mobile phones, iPads?
I think I use everything that you can name. I mean, I use a mobile phone, I use a tablet, I use a laptop. All of these mostly for my work. And I've recently bought a mic to do work on my YouTube hustle. So yeah, I probably have one extra piece of technology.
And is there any tech device that you would like to buy in the future?
In the future, I've recently seen this wristwatch that's quite popular that people who are into fitness are using in San Francisco. I think you might have seen the meme, like this guy pretended to be a Twitter worker and then but actually was just a normal guy disguising as a Twitter worker, and then he gave an interview to reporter, and then he put on the similar watch, and it seems it's really popular. It's for fitness people. I want to buy one of those.
Ah. What kind of benefits do you think that technology brings to us?
Well, technology eases our lives in many aspects. It makes us more productive if you are able to use it productively, and it also brings us a lot of other benefits, like it makes, I mean, it helps us stay connected with our relatives who happen to live overseas. Overall, we are more connected, we get more things done, and there are so many benefits I cannot probably enumerate.
Do you like social media?
Yes, I think I like social media because it has allowed me to get to know people that I would otherwise not know, and get to expose myself to the ideas I would otherwise not be exposed to in my in my locality. So it has given, I think, unprecedented opportunities to many people to scale up their work, to get richer. I myself have benefited from it. So I now have a bit of following on social media. I've gotten to know a lot of people thanks to social media.
Yes. Just as a little pause here, you've got Telegram and you've got YouTube. So people, if you're watching this, you can follow Dior Beck on Telegram and YouTube.
Thank you for the plug.
Yes. Now, would you want to work for a social media company like Facebook or Instagram?
No, I wouldn't. I think it's the last thing I want to do. I've seen one of those day in the life videos, and those videos are, in my opinion, pathetic. When I see those videos, I see like, okay, that's not something I want to do, working for this big soulless organization and completely get nothing done and then be proud of the fact that I've done nothing. So I know
Right, okay.
I would never work. I'm probably making the world a worse place to live in. So that's what I would think that what these people are doing.
Right. Now, do you like to get up early in the morning?
Well, I like the idea of getting up early and getting a lot of things done, but I cannot because like I said, I go to bed quite late. So, and I need to get a healthy amount of sleep, which is usually for me 7 hours. So I usually get up 7 in the morning and then head to the gym.
And which is your favorite morning during the whole week?
My favorite morning is obviously Sunday morning when I get to sleep in, and at other times of the week I usually have to get up at 7, go to the gym, and then go back to my workplace.
Would you like to change your morning routine?
Yes, I want to go to bed a bit earlier and wake up a bit earlier, and that way I will have some time to do some undivided, focused work, which would make my days more productive. Because nowadays, because I'm getting up a bit late, I'm not as productive as I want to be.
Do you prefer hot or cold weather?
Oh, I like hot weather because you could go out and do different kinds of activities. But when it's extremely cold, actually, we experienced a quite abnormal cold weather recently, and it confined, like it, I guess, put us inside the house. I couldn't think of a word. Yeah, I prefer hot weather to cold weather generally.
What kind of activities would you like to do on hot days?
On hot days, I like to go to beach and play volleyball, I guess, and probably beach football as well. That would be a nice activity, and go swimming. Yeah, I think there's like a lot of activities one can engage in when it's hot. And normally, I think I would do something water related.
Right. And you mentioned that it was a very cold winter. What is the weather usually like in your hometown?
Um, we get to experience all seasons in my hometown, and but normally it's quite hot. Uzbekistan generally has hot weather, but in winter, especially lately, we've been having quite harsh cold weather winters, and I think that's probably related to climate change and global warming, and that everybody's talking about.
Do you like cooking, Diobek?
No, I'm not really a good cook, so I don't like cooking. I usually have my mom cook stuff for me because I'm trying to eat a more healthy diet,
Right.
and I'm trying to eat more protein, and she's helping me cook fish and chicken. So yeah, I normally stay away from kitchen and I give the reins to my mom.
Would you like to learn how to cook?
No, I don't think I want to learn how to cook because I might upset some of the people, but I would prefer my wife to cook things for me. And obviously I would help her prepare the ingredients and all that stuff, but I wouldn't, want to take formal classes. I would prefer either my mom or my wife to be cook for me. And I would I think they generally probably cook better than I would ever be able to cook.
Right. Why do you think some people really enjoy cooking?
I think it's the process. When you create something beautiful, especially when people try to make it presentable. I think this whole process makes them, feel certain way. Probably they enjoy it because they have created something beautiful. I think this whole creation brings them a lot of joy. And also nowadays, a lot of people are, doing these fast videos, like you've seen probably one or two of them on YouTube where they are doing stuff in a fast-paced I don't know how to say it way, and then they make videos and they put up online. I guess that makes them some money too. It makes some money for them. I guess.
Yes. Nowadays, a lot of cooking shows are very popular, especially on YouTube. Why do you think cooking shows are so popular?
I guess everyone likes to eat. That's why.
Yeah.
Probably. Cooking shows are popular. I, for example, watch Hot Ones. It's a show by Sean Evans where he invites famous people and makes them eat hot chicken wings. And I like to watch that show and like feel the burn and people. Obviously, this is really enjoyable show because the host asks really good questions. I guess, yeah, we all share this interest in food because food is universal and everybody likes good food. That's probably why a lot of people like these kinds of shows.
Okay. Thank you very much, Diorbek. You've answered so many part one questions.
Yes.
How do you feel?
Well, it was quite intense. I feel in some parts I did better than in some other parts. I think what a lot of IELTS is I believe is like, for example, generally as people we like to talk about certain things, but we don't like to talk about certain other things. So that's the case for me too. For some of the questions, I literally had nothing to say, and some of my answers were probably quite short and could have been better extended. But overall, I enjoyed the process. It was quite intense.
I think what you're saying there is very interesting because there's some topics that we talk about regularly with our friends and we feel comfortable talking about, and then there's some other topics that we never maybe have never talked about apart from in the IELTS exam. And I think that's why it's quite good to do activities like this in IELTS preparation, so you just become familiar with talking about a lot of different topics, and you might learn
Yes.
a lot of vocabulary as well. Before we end the video, can you just tell people how they can learn more about you?
Yeah, they can join my channels on Telegram and YouTube. I'm mostly active on Telegram. So if you use Telegram, you go to global search and you search for Diorbek's IELTS. That's my name, Diorbek and S IELTS. And I run a channel by the same name, and it's called Diorbek Standardized Test because I do a bit of, at least I want to do more SAT related videos too. So you can find me on Telegram and YouTube.
Diorbek, thank you very much for coming on today.
Thank you for doing this with me.